Hard to understand. It is called, the expression is down the stretch. Down the stretch. Is anyone familiar with the term down the stretch? Does anyone want to guess? I will give you a hint. It is probably most commonly used in sports. Down the stretch. Any ideas? Any guess? Down the stretch? I think it originated from horse racing, and the horse is usually maybe almost one complete lap, and when they get near the end, the announcer might say, actually it's a very famous phrase, and down the stretch they come, and down the stretch meaning the end. Down the stretch, so I guess you could think of the stretch as being the end part, the latter part, almost finished, down the stretch. So I think it came from horse racing, and you can use it for a game, any type of sports game, a basketball game. In the fourth quarter, when there's only a couple of minutes, you know who is your best player that you want to rely on down the stretch, or he is performing very poorly down the stretch, or also for an entire season. Baseball season is 162 games, right? So near the last 20 games, the last 30 games, you can say down the stretch. You could use it for stuff other than sports. If your boss pulls you into the office and you had a 6-month sales campaign, and in the last 2 weeks and you are not performing well, he says, we're really coming down the stretch here, and I want you to work very hard and make sure you complete your goal of your sales. Down the stretch, meaning the latter part. What does it say here? The last part, near the finish, coming down. A lot of times it is used with the verb to come, coming down the stretch, to come down the stretch. Any questions? Yes?
So it is used for usually urgent?
Urgent?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say urgent. It's just used to, like I said, to say we're getting near the end. It is coming down the stretch. We're almost finished. You could say we're coming down the stretch now, and we don't have that much work to do, or something like that. Probably like that. But it is used with sports, but it can be used with other types of stuff. Whenever you wouldn't really use it, I guess you could. I said you could use it in a game. A game is only a couple hours long, but you wouldn't really use it for like the work day. We're coming down the stretch. It kind of usually implies something longer, but not always. I said the race can only be a minute or two. The game can only be a couple of hours. But if you're using it for work or something like that, it's probably going to be something longer than just a couple hours or even a couple days, something a little bit longer. We're coming down the stretch of our marketing campaign or our sales campaign or something like that.